Hello everyone. Today we will start with the behavior of different RLC combination with AC supply, in which we will discuss RLC in series and RLC in parallel. First, here we discuss about RLC in series. When the combination of resistance, inductance, and capacitance are connected in series with the AC supply is known as RLC series circuit with AC supply. The voltage is given here is Vm sin omega t, and the current is commonly flowing in the circuit because it is a series RLC circuit. The voltage across resistance is VR, the voltage across the inductance is VL, and the voltage across capacitance is represented by VC. So when the case we have VL is equal to VC, then this is the representation of phasor diagram. Here you see that this is the voltage across resistance, which is always in phase with the supply current. So the VR and I is in phase, whereas the VL is always 90 degree, or the voltage across inductance is always 90 degree ahead from the current. So see, this is the relationship between voltage and current across the inductance. So see here, this is the voltage across inductance, and the 90 degree lag behind is the current. Whereas in capacitance, the voltage across capacitance is always lag behind the current across it. So see, the voltage across capacitance is lag behind the current by 90 degree. So these are the concluding point here. VR is drawn in phase with current. VL is drawn leading I by 90 degree. And VL is drawn lagging I by 90 degree. So this is the main thing about the RLC series circuit. Now there are two cases formed when we have a circuit which contain R, L and C and supplied by AC supply. So here the first case is the voltage across inductor VL and the voltage across voltage capacitor. When the voltage across inductance is greater than voltage across capacitance, then this indicates the first case. And second case, here we consider when the voltage across capacitance and the voltage across inductance is following this condition. So VL is less than VC. First, we will discuss about VL is greater than VC. So here you see as the diagram, you know that this is the VL, this is I, and in phase of I, VR should be drawn, and this is VC. In case of VL is greater than VC. So see, as from the phasor diagram, VL is having larger magnitude than the VC. Now, for this reason, VL minus VC. So what is VL minus VC? If we transpose our VC, so see, this is the magnitude of suppose VC. So this VL minus VC gives this amount of magnitude of VL minus VC. So this is VL minus VC, and this is again I, and this is same here. So this is the circuit when VL is greater than VC, and we find out the total voltage by taking the resultant voltage. So resultant voltage is VR square plus VL minus VC square gives the total voltage. When we replace this VR by I into R and replace this VL by I into XL and replace this VC by I into XC. So it will give common I. So we take out this I and in under root only R square plus XL minus XC square is remaining. Now this term R square plus XL minus XC square under root is nothing but the impedance of the RLC series circuit. So Z is always in ohm. So same thing is happened with the when VL is less than VC. So as from our diagram, this is VL and this is VR and this is I. Now here what? VC is greater than VL. So this is VC. Now transpose our vector. This is VL. So now only remaining portion is this VC minus VL. So what happened? This is VC minus VL and this is the I and this is. So the combined resultant is VC minus, so this is the resultant voltage. So this is the phasor diagram of RLC series circuit when VL is having less value than the VC. Now this is the phi. See, phi is the angle always in between supply voltage and supply current. Either it is lagging or it is leading. Okay, but it is always in between supply voltage and supply current. In case of when VL is greater than VC, your V is upper side. So this is plus phi. In case of when VL is less than VC, then your phi is automatically like this. So it is in the minus. Now the impedance of this RLC series circuit is VR square plus VC minus VL square under root. We replace by VR, VC and VL by their respective formula of drop. So after that, we will get impedance in this RLC series circuit when VL is less than VC is R square plus XC minus XL square in the under root. So this is the Z in case of VL less than VC. Now for finding the angle phi, so from the formula, we will have tan phi is equal to VL minus VC by R and the phi we find from this formula. Now in case of VL minus VC, tan phi is represented by VC minus VL and divided by R. And the phi is like this in terms of X and R. So representation of voltage and current in case of inductor, in case when VL is greater than VC, then V is suppose Vm sin omega t, then I is should be Im sin omega t minus phi because circuit is inductive in nature. So angle is always lagging. Here in case of when VL is less than VC, what happened? The current is leading because circuit is capacitive in nature. Power in average power in both cases VI cos phi and here is also VI cos phi. So this is the again explanation of the phasor diagram with the help of all the components. Now this is the revision slide. We represent V is the vector sum of VR, VL and VC. VR is I into R, whereas VL is I into JXL, VC is I into minus JXC. Here V is equal to I multiplied by R plus JXL minus JXC. You also represent R plus JXL minus XC within the bracket multiplied by I is the total voltage. So XL is omega L, XC is 1 by omega C. I is again represented by, from this formula, I is equal to V divided by R plus J omega L minus 1 upon omega C. So this equation is nothing but the impedance of the circuit. Now this is the magnitude of impedance is calculated by R square plus omega L minus 1 upon omega C square under the root. Definition of current in this manner. So we can also represent our equation in the form of rectangular form. So this is the representation of I. So this is the real component here, and this is the imaginary component here. And we also simplify. If we simplify, then we will get V divided by R square plus omega L minus 1 omega C square multiplied by R minus J omega L minus 1 upon omega C within the bracket. Now, I is in term of the polar form. We also represent like this. V divided by impedance of the circuit and multiplied it with the angle. So angle is nothing but XL minus XC divided by R by taking the tan inverse. So this is the magnitude of current, and this is the current with the angle. So as we know that when we have omega L is less than 1 upon omega C, or VL is less than VC, then this is the circuit diagram. So VC minus VL, this is VR, this is I, so 90-degree lag behind this, this is VL. So this is the representation of phasor diagram. When VL equal to VC, what happened? This is the VL with the same magnitude of VC, and this is the current. This is the phasor representation in this condition. Here, when you have omega L is greater than 1 upon omega C, means your circuit is inductive, so VL is greater than VC. So see, the magnitude of VL is higher than the VC. Okay, so when VC is subtracted, then this amount of VL minus VC is coming, and when we phasor sum, we will have total supply voltage. So this is the three condition on which we have to draw the phasor diagram. So the concluding point is that when V is equal to Vm sin omega t, based on the condition of L and C on the value of L and C, we have the equation of current like this. So Im sin omega t plus minus phi. If circuit is capacitive, we have to take plus. If your circuit is inductive, then we have to take minus here. So it is already defined here. Now, see, this is the circuit in which frequency is given. Determine the total impedance. In this circuit, we have to find the total impedance. Number second, phase angle, as shown in the figure, where F is given 1 kilohertz. F is equal to 1 kilohertz is given, and R is equal to 560 kilo, and L is equal to 100 millihenry. So these are the quantity is given, also C is also given, so 0.56 millifarad. So see here, as per the formula, XL is equal to 2 pi FL, 2 multiplied by pi, F is given, that is 1 kilohertz. It means 1 into 10 to the power 3 multiplied by L. L is what? 100 and millihenry. Milli means 10 to the power minus 3. This is the equation. So when you write this equation, we will have 628 ohm is equal to XL. So XL is nothing but 628 ohm. Now for calculation of XC is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FC. So 1 upon 2 pi FC means 1 upon 2 pi. Frequency is 100 kilohertz. Frequency is 100 kilohertz is given. It means, 1 kilohertz is given. So 10 to the power 3 multiplied by capacitance is 0.56 millifarad. That means 10 to the power minus 3. When you solve this equation, you will get 284 point ohm. So this is the value. Now we have to find the total reactance. So for finding the total reactance, what we have to do? We have to do XL minus XC. So XL is what? 628 minus 284. Here 628 minus 284, it will give 344 ohm. So this is the X total. Now Z total. Z total is equal to, we know the formula, R square XL minus XC square. So what we have here, R is already given, that is 560 square plus XL we have, and XL minus XC we have 344 square. So what we will get? We will get here Z total. Now theta is equal to XL minus XC by R. So that is tan of inverse. Now what happened here? Tan of inverse XL minus XR 344 divided by 560. What we will get here? We get the angle phi 31.6. And one more numerical is given here. Draw a vector diagram for the circuit shown in figure, indicating the resistance and reactance drop, the terminal voltage Vn, V1 and V2, and the current. Find the values of the current, V1, V2 and power factor. So they ask us, first of all, draw the vector diagram of the circuit, then current, V1, V2 and power factor. And here, this is the circuit diagram is mentioned, in which they divided this series branch into two parts. One is for RL and second one is for RLC. So see here, this is R1. So R1 is equal to 10 ohm and L1 is equal to 0.5 Henry, whereas R2 is equal to 20 ohm and L2 is equal to 0.1 Henry and capacitance is equal to 50 microfarad. Now find XL1. Now what is XL1? XL1 is 2 pi FL. So F is given here 50 Hertz. So F is equal to 50 Hertz. So when you write the value 2 pi into 50 multiplied by L, L is 0.05. This will give XL1 is 15.71 ohm. XL2, For XL2, we have 2 pi f L2. Here it is L1 and L2. So what is L2? 2 pi f, f is 50 and L2 is 0.1. After solving it, we will get 31.42 ohm. So this is nothing but the XL2. Okay. So now here the circuit consists of R, L and C. So one more component here is C. So for that we have to find XC. XC is 1 upon 2 pi FC. So 1 upon 2 pi 50 into C is given 50 into micro. Micro means 10 to the power minus 6. So what we have here? So after solving, we will get 63.66. So this is the XC. Now total Z. Total Z is what? Total Z is Z1 and this is the Z2. So Z1 plus Z2 is equal to total Z. So here we write our equation for Z1 is 10 plus 10 plus J 15.71. It means R plus J 15.71 R plus XL1 plus R plus J XL minus XC. So in this case, XL is lower and XC is higher. Now we write this equation in terms of this. R is given 10 plus J 15.71 plus 20 plus J. XL is 31.42 minus 63.66. Now after solving, we will get here this real component gives 30 minus, after solving all this imaginary component, we have 16.53. Now we have to convert this rectangular form into polar form. So we have to take magnitude. For the magnitude, we have to do this 30 square plus 16.53 square. This will give 34.25. For calculation of the angle, phi is equal to tan inverse of this 6x by r. So x is 16.53 and r is 30. So this will give 28.85 in minus because this is a minus. Okay. So here we can write in the polar form is like this 34.25 angle is in minus 28.85. Now we have to find I. I is nothing but the V by total Z because this is the series circuit. So V is already given 200 angle 0 and ZT is having 34.25 angle of minus 28.85. So on solving, we will get the current 584 and this. And if you want to write the angle, so write angle also. This is the current. Okay, so this is our total current. So here from this point, total current is find out. What is V1? V1 is I is a common, Z1, V2 is equal to I into Z2. So see here, we know what is Z1 and what is Z2. So how you can find Z1 and Z2? This is the equation given for Z1. This is the equation for Z2. So we have to find Z1 and Z2 in the form of polar. See here, 10 plus J, 15.71. This is the Z1. You convert this into the polar form. So Z10 square plus 15.7 ka square. You will give, it will give 18.62. And for finding the phi, you have to write 10 inverse. For finding the phi is equal to 10 inverse of x, component of this imaginary quantity 15.71 divided by 10. This will give 57.52. So this is Z1. See, this is Z1. So Z1 is multiplied by the current 5.84. Now Z2 is 20 plus J 31.42. So this is the Z2, and this is XL, this is XC, this is R. So when you solve this, you will get 20 minus G 32.24 and is equal to 37.94 and angle of minus 58.9. So sorry, it is not 9 ohm, it is degree. Yes, it is in ohm because it is impedance. You see, this is the polar conversion of Z2. After we have a Z2, so V2 is equal to Z2 multiplied by I. So you multiplied it. So 37.94 multiplied by 5.84 give 221.57 and the angle is 58.9 minus. So this is the angle, minus is coming because minus in front of 58.19. Now this is the total power factor, cos phi is equal to 28.8 because we have here 28.85 is the our. So see 28.85 and it gives the power factor of 0.875 leading. So here we have two voltages V1 and V2. So here we take I as a reference. So here you will take I as a reference and you see that V1 is having magnitude of 108.74. V1 is 108.74 and angle is of 57.52. So see, this is the positive angle. Now here you see for the V2, it is the 2221.57 and angle of minus of 59.8. So here, this is the angle because of minus sign. This is the position is after the I. You see, this is the vector representation in which you show V1, V2 and I. Now the next numerical is a resistor of 20 watts, inductor of 0.05 Henry and a capacitor of 50 microfarad are connected in series. A supply voltage V, a supply voltage 230 volt, 50 hertz is connected across a series combination. Calculate the following: impedance, current drawn by the circuit, phase difference and the power factor, and then active and reactive power consumed. So here you see that R is given, R resistor of 20 watt. 20 watt is power given across the resistance. Okay, and here inductor value is 0.05 Henry, whereas capacitance value is 50 microfarad, and the supply voltage is 230 volt 50 hertz. Now, first of all, we have to calculate the impedance. So, we have the value of L and C. So, first of all, calculate 2 pi f L. So, 2 pi f is 50 and L is 0.05. It will give 15.71. So, 15.71 ohm. XC is equal to 1 upon 2 pi f into C is 50 10 to the power 3 millifarad. So its value is, after solving, 63.66. So it is 63.66. Now we have the formula for Z is equal to J XL minus R plus J XL minus XC. Okay. Here, the 20, okay. This is the, not watt, it is the ohm. So it is mistakenly right here. This is ohm. So R is equal to 20 plus J. XL is 15.71 minus XC is 63.66. So this is the value which we write here. When you solve this, so you will get this. How we will get this? After converting this rectangular form into a polar form. So in polar form, 51.95 is equal to 67 minus of 67.36 degree angle, and impedance always in ohm. So the phase difference is 67.36. Now current is, voltage is given, and we have already a Z, then it is the Z. Then power factor is, when you solve for the cos phi, so this is the 0.385 leading is the power. Now active power is 230, current is 4.43, and this is the cos phi 0.385. So this is the active power, and reactive power is the sine component. So VI sine phi. This is 230 multiplied by 4.43 multiplied by sine 67.36. So this is the reactive power in terms of kVAR. Now next numerical is, a circuit consists of pure inductor, pure resistor, and a capacitor connected in series. When the circuit is supplied with 100 volt 50 hertz supply, the voltage across inductor, resistor are 240 and 90 volt respectively. So here, see, there are two voltages are given across inductor and across resistor, and supply voltage is 100 and frequency is 50 hertz. Now they ask for, if the circuit takes a 10 ampere leading current, calculate value of inductance, resistance, and capacitance. Number second, power factor of the circuit. And number third, voltage across the resistance. So these are the given quantity. V is equal to 100 volt, frequency equal to 50 hertz, VL is equal to 240 volt, VR is equal to 90 volt, and I is equal to 10 ampere. Now, here we calculate this R is having I into VR. So VR is given 90. So here VR is given 90. So from here, we directly find out the value of R. So here R is 9. Now XL is I into XL is equal to PL. PL is given 240. So PL by I, 240 divided by 10 is equal to 24 ohm. So Z is equal to V by I. This is 10 ohm. So we have three quantities in our hand: resistance, reactance, and impedance. So what is the formula for it? Z is equal to R square plus XL minus XC square under root. We have R 9 plus we have XL 24 minus XC square under root equal to Z is also equal to 10. So we have this equation. So from this equation, we find the value of X. From this, we have a XC in our hand, 28.36 ohm. When we have XC, 28.36 ohm, so by we already having XL, so we also find out the value of L from this formula 2 pi FL. So L is equal to 0.076. And here X is 1 upon 2 pi FC. From this, we can find C. The value of C is here 112.24. So this is the asked by the numerical. And here the power factor of the circuit, power factor cos phi. Cos phi is equal to R by Z. We know the value of R and Z is 10. So see here 0.9 leading because current is leading. And the voltage across capacitance is VC is equal to XC multiplied by I. Now we have the value of XC. Yes, 28.36 multiplied by 10 is equal to 283.6 volts. This is the, and now this is one more numerical in which we have to calculate for each of the following frequencies of the source voltage, find the impedance and phase angle for the circuit in the next figure. See, this is the figure. Note the change in the impedance and the phase angle with the frequency. With R equal to 3.3 kilo ohm, L is equal to 100 millihenry, and C is equal to 0.022 millifarad. These are the given values. Now we have to find the value of impedances in each case of is frequency. So we have a common value of R equal to 3.3 kilo ohm, L is equal to 100 millihenry, whereas C is equal to 0.022 microfarad. In first case, when frequency you kept 1 kilohertz, then C when applying the formula, you will get the value of X is 7.23 kilo ohm. For XL, by applying the formula, we have 628 ohm. And the total X is XL minus XC is 6.6 kilo ohm. So the total Z is this 7.38 kilo ohm. And theta is 63.4. Now keep your frequency 3.5. Repeating the same formula, but in place of F, we have to write 3.5 kilohertz. So here frequency is now increased. So see the effect of the value of Xc is now 2.07. In previous case, see at 1 kilohertz, it is 7.23. As the frequency is increasing, the Xc is decreasing because Xc and frequency is having inverse relationship. Now see the value of XL. By putting the formula, we have 2.20 kilo ohm. whereas X total is XL minus XC. So it is giving 130 ohm. So the Z total, by write this value, it is 3.30 kilo ohm. And the angle is now 2.26. So as the frequency is increased, the value is of XC is, if frequency is increased, the value of XC is decreased. Whereas if frequency is increased, the value of XL is increased, because there is a direct relationship between XL and the frequency. Okay. When we have the frequency 1 kilohertz, the total reactance is 6.6 kilo ohm. Whereas when we increase our frequency, so the total reactance is also decrease here, only 130. But here you see it is 6.6 kilo ohm. So see, there is a, when you change the frequency, then XL and XC is changing, whereas R is independent from the frequency. Now, this is the parallel circuit, parallel RLC circuit. In this parallel RLC circuit, this is the inductance, this is resistance, this is capacitance, and here you see that the voltage across inductance is VL and the voltage across resistance is VR, whereas the voltage across the capacitance is VC. And the total current is flowing in the circuit here, IS, supply current, and this is the total voltage we give here. And this IS is divided into two parts. One component of current is going through this capacitor, and the second component of current is going through this L and R combination. So this two branch current is divided. You see, IS is calculated by vector sum of IC plus IR. And the VC, V is equal to VC because this is the parallel. So the voltage given is equal to or across the capacitor, and this voltage is again equal to VR plus V. So see, this is VR plus VC. Now VC is nothing but IC multiplied by minus J XC, whereas IC multiplied by minus J 1 upon omega C is equivalent to XC, whereas VR is equal to the current is flowing in this branch is ILR. So ILR multiplied by R is give the VR, whereas VL is equal to ILR multiplied by this XL. So this is JXL, and this XL is replaced by omega L. So ILR multiplied by J omega L. This is the VL, VR, and VC. Now the total voltage is, you can calculate, V is equal to ILR multiplied by R plus J omega L. So see, ILR is equal to V by R plus J omega L. From this equation, we write like this. Now, we also write like this, V upon R square plus omega square L square multiplied by R minus J omega L. Now, the total current, supply current is IC plus ILR. Now, we know what is ILR. ILR is this. And the value of IS and IC is J omega C omega. It means IC is equal to V divided by 1 on omega C. So this is right like this. So this is the total current IS. We also write the total current like this after solving this equation. Now see, this is the supply voltage. In case of pure capacitance, what happened? Current is always lead. So see here, current is leading by 90 degree. Okay. And in case of inductance, current is, in case of RL circuit, current is lagging by less than 90 degree. So see, the ILR is lagged by 5 degree. So this is ILR and this is IC. And when we take the resultant of this, it will give the value of complete IS. So see, this is the IS and this is the addition of ILR plus IC. It will give the supply current IS. Now in parallel circuit, we have to remember this. The impedance is presented by Z is equal to R plus minus JX, resistance plus reactance. Positive in case of inductance and negative in case of capacitance. If we have one more quantity with us, that is Y. Y is nothing but it is the admittance and it is just inverse of the impedance. So here Y is equal to G plus minus JB. G is nothing but 1 by R, whereas B is nothing but 1 by J. So see here, this is also one of the representation. So in parallel circuit, it is easy to solve the numerical by using this and by this formula. So this is the conductance, this is susceptance, this is admittance. In case of admittance, plus minus plus sign is taken for indicate the capacitive circuit, whereas minus sign is taken for indicate the negative circuit. Now here one example shown here, two circuits, the impedance of which are given by Z1 is equal to 10 plus J 15 and Z2 is equal to 6 minus J 8 ohm are connected in parallel. If the total current supplied is 15 ampere, what is the power taken by each branch? Find also the power factor of the individual circuit and the combination. Also draw the vector diagram. So first of all, we made here Z1. So Z1 is consisting of 10 plus J 15. So 10 is nothing but the resistance and J is the L. Whereas this Z2 is 6 minus J8. This is 10 and this is J15 and this is 6 minus J8 means capacitance. This is 6 minus J8. This is Z2 and this is Z1. And it is connected in parallel and it is supplied by the voltage source and the total current is also given, that is, see, we have Z1 and Z2. So Z1 we convert into a polar form. So 10 plus J15 square will give 18. So you write here 18. And for phi, 10 inverse, imaginary quantity is here 15 and the real quantity is 10. It will give angle 57. Whereas for Z2, for calculating the magnitude, 6 square plus J8 square will give the value 10 and the angle is tan inverse imaginary quantity minus J8 divided by 6. It will give 53.1. So these are the two values of Z1 and Z2 in the polar form. Now here you calculate the value of parallel impedance. So write the value of impedances here. So see, these are the two, and this is Z1 plus Z2. So when you solve this term, you will get this, and you again convert it into the polar form. So we have the value of Z1, Z2 and total Z. Okay, now we have to calculate power taken by each branch. Power taken by each branch. So it means we have to find out the current separately also, I1 and I2. Now we have Z. So V and I. So V is easily findable. So current is 15 and Z is 10.3. Angle is 20.4. So from here you see the angle for the Z. So you take, after this, multiplying 10.3 into 15 will give 154.4 and angle is 20.4. Now we have Z1 and we have the value of V1. So V divided by Z1, and for I2 V divided by Z2. So you have to write your equation and you will get the value of V by Z1 and V by Z2. Now these are the two separate current. Now they ask for power in each branch, P1 and P2. The real power is I square into R. So in first branch, it is I1 square into R. In second branch, it is the I2 square into R. So this is R1 and this is suppose R2. So when you calculate this, so you have 736 watt, and for in second branch, current and multiplied by 6, and it will give 1432 watt. Okay. Now power factor in both the branch. We have the angle phi1 and phi2 with us. So we put it with the cos and cos. In previous slide, we have phi1 and phi2. We are not calculated here. Okay. Here. This is the 53.1. 53.1 is the phi for the phi2 for the second branch, and here 77.4 for the first branch. So it is taken here wrongly. So it is 77.4. It will give the value of 0.544 and 0.6. In this way, you can find the power factor for branch 1 and power factor for branch 2. And the total power factor is given. So cos 20.4, 0.937 lead. Now, this question is again for the parallel circuit. Two circuit, the impedance of which are given by Z1 is equal to 15 plus J12 ohm and Z2 is equal to 8 minus J5 ohm are connected in parallel. If the potential difference across one of the impedance is 250, then calculate total current and branch current. Second, total power and power consumed in each branch. Number third, overall power factor and power factor of each branch. Now see here, Z1. This is Z1, 15 is given and J12. And Z2 is 8. It is capacitance J5 connected in parallel with the AC supply of 250 with the angle 0. Okay. Now we have to find out the current. So I is equal to I1 is equal to V by Z1 and I2 is equal to V by Z. You know that this is the Z1 and this is the Z2. So V is 250, Z1 is 15 plus J12. Now you convert this 15 plus J12 into the polar form. How you will convert? 250 divided by 15 square plus 12 square under root and angle tan inverse imaginary component 12 divided by 10. So it will give 250 divided by 19.21 and angle is 38.6. So what is the value of it is 250 divided by 19.21 after solving this and the angle is 38.6. Now for I2 it is again 250 divided by 8 minus J5. So it is equal to 250 8 square plus J5 square angle tan inverse 5 minus 8. This is the value. So when you solve this, what you will get? You will get the value is in the form of polar 250 divided by 9.434 at angle is minus of 32. Okay. So this is the equation for the I1 and I2. Now when you further solve it, it will give 26 because if we 250 divided by 19.25 will give this 13 angle of minus 38.6. How? So 250 divided by 19.21 and angle is 38.6. So it will give 13 angle minus of 38.6. So see, this is the polar form of the current. Okay. And here you again convert this polar form into the rectangular form. How you can convert it? So you write here 13 and cos 38.6 minus and plus J sine minus 38.6. So it will give you a rectangular form of this polar equation. Okay, so here you can write the value of this cos and write the value of sine, then you will get 0.78 minus 0.6247 and this is the magnitude. In this same way, I2 you can find. So I1 is 10.14 minus J 8.12 ampere and in the similar manner, the I2 is 22.47 plus J 14.05 ampere. So this is these two are the branch current. Okay. Now we have to calculate the total current also. So in next slide, we calculate the total. Total current is nothing but I is equal to 32.61 plus J 5.93. How it is come? See, this is the equation. 10.14 minus J 8.12 plus 22.47 plus J 14.05. So real component, and this real component is addible, whereas these two solve with each other. So this will give the 32.61 plus J 5.93. And again you convert this rectangular form into the polar form by the similar manner. Now, power in branch 1 is I square R1 and I2 square into R2. We know the value of I1. This is the value of I1. So, you have to write here. I1 is 13 square, R1 is 15 is given, whereas in second branch, 26.5 square multiplied by 8. This will give the power of all these two branches. And you add, when you add this two power, then it will give us simply a total power consumed. And in the similar fashion, we again have to calculate for branch 1 and 2 the power factor. So we have the value of 5. So for branch 1, we have 38.605. For branch 2, we have 32 degree phi. So by taking the cos phi, we find here power factor for branch 1 and power factor for branch 2. So for 1, it is 0.78 lag, and for 2, it is 0.848 lead. And the overall power factor, 10.36. See, for overall power factor, yes, this is the total current, 10.36. So see, this is the overall power factor. Now, this is the question, last question of this slide. Now it is up to you to solve, and in which you have to, for the circuit shown, calculate minimum supply current IS. You have to calculate this and the corresponding C. And also you have to find C. So these are the answer given. You have to match your solution and your answer with these answers. Okay. So I wind up my lecture here based on RLC series and RLC parallel circuit. Thank you to all.